Call to order, Board of Trustees, regular meeting Thursday, June 17th, 2021 at 5:30 PM. Roll call. Trustee Archuleta.
Present.
Trustee Lopez is absent tonight. Trustee Baca.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumbo.
Present.
Thank you. Opening prayer, I'll do the opening prayer, and Trustee Archuleta, would you do the pledge, please? Lord, we ask that you guide us in making good decisions for our village. We ask that you bless all the fathers at this time. We ask that you keep our troops, our first responders, and our elderly safe. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we approve the agenda, there's one on item number 11. We have a presentation for Wanda, and that will be letter C, right after the police pay incentives. It'll be letter C, item 11.
I move to accept the agenda, approve the agenda as is.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Trustee Archuleta, second by Mayor Pro Tem Brumbo. Trustee Baca.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumbo.
Yes.
Trustee Archuleta.
Yes.
Thank you. Announcements of closed meeting held on June 14th, 2021. There was no action and no decision made at that time. Citizens to address the board. Have anybody to address the board? No? Approval of minutes, Board of Trustees workshop meeting, May 12th, 2021. Board of Trustees regular meeting, May 20th, 2021. Board of Trustees special meeting, May 26th, 2021. Here a motion.
I have a question.
Hmm.
On the village meeting workshop for May 12th, 2021, on page 505, there's some comments missing. We were having an argument and a discussion over how we voted for Mr. Pena's contract, and Mrs. Brumbelow, Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow, made the statement that she does not recall. She thought we were voting on a 30-day postponement, and that's not in here. Okay.
Okay. If anything else, do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the trustees workshop on May 12th, trustees regular meeting on May 20th, trustees special meeting on the 26th, and I guess the addition of what trustee Baca replied.
I'll second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumbo, second by Trustee Archuleta. Mayor Pro Tem Brumbo.
Yes.
Trustee Baca.
Yes.
Trustee Archuleta.
Yes.
Approval of cash disbursement journal for May 2021. Questions?
That one I do have a question. Um, It's on page 11, or page 12, I'm sorry. So there's two places where we pay for design for the swimming pool. on May the 13th and again on May 27th. Did they come out two different times?
So the way those work is the PO is issued to cover the whole design of the swimming pool. As they meet benchmarks, they'll turn in the invoice for that benchmark. So it'll always say design because it's many steps along the way. So as they finish each step, they'll be paid for that step that's completed.
Okay, so I have another question then. When they came out and got up on the roof back at the very beginning, we paid for that too. I know there was Sarah and myself and Lynn there when they first found the leaks and discussed it. So is any of that included in this?
No, I believe the first time that it leaked, the insurance covered some of that. So that was an insurance claim. It didn't have anything to do with Wilson and Company designing it.
Okay,
So this here is actually the project. This is capital outlay grant that's going to pay for the re-roofing of that building.
okay,
So this is completely separate from the insurance claim that was filed before.
okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, if not, do I hear a motion to accept?
I make a motion to approve the cash disbursement journal for May 2021.
A second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brambolo, second by Trustee Chuleta. Trustee Chuleta,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brambolo,
Yes.
Trustee Baca.
Yes.
Next, we move to the acceptance of municipal court cash journal for May 2021. Any questions? If not, do I hear a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept court cash journal.
I'll second the motion.
Mayor by Trustee Baca, second by Mayor, motion by Trustee Baca, second by Mayor Pro Tem Brambolo. Trustee Chuleta,
Yes.
Trustee Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brambolo.
Yes.
Thank you. Updates. First, we have the fire chief.
Mayor, Board of Trustees, I gave you our call log for May. We ran a total of 63 calls, 2 fires. One fire was at Mount Taylor Millworks, and the other one was at McDonald's. So neither one were really within the village, but we responded to both of them. We're still helping the DOH and the emergency manager with COVID. It's mostly on just vaccines now. We don't go up much for the testing and everything at this time. Assistant Chief Arosti just finished his instructor class, which is a prerequisite for him to get his fire officer. So he will be doing probably for fire officer here in the future. Cipolla County has 68,902 tests administered. They had 2,865 positive cases, only 111 total deaths. And the recovery rate is 2,712, and that was as of May 7th. That's the current call I've got. We're updating our pre-plans with all commercial buildings in town and everything. I have heard the other day that the smoking bucket out here caught on fire. The bucket they put their cigarettes in, it caught on fire. I wasn't even aware it was, but a plastic bucket's not going to cut it. We're still under a no burn ban for the whole village. We had a fire this morning, a guy burning in a barrel. So there is no burning in the village of Milan at this time due to the dryness and the weather we haven't been getting. So if you don't have any other questions of me, I have a letter here I'd like to read to y'all. And any questions?
The only one I had, Keith, was about how's it going with the repairs on the building, or have you?
Excuse me, I'm going to update you that. They called, Denise and I talked about it last week. And I, excuse me, I talked to them and they're supposed to have me some pricing come July 2nd. And they came in and looked at it and it's not as bad as what they speculated they thought they could do. Basically, what they want to do is come in and do the office area first, which that's fine. That's kind of what I wanted to do. But what they thought is they're going to have to tear out the whole thing because of the flooring in the apartment. But they came up to the conclusion that they're going to come in and build the walls, then tear this wall down to give it the support. And in one area, they're going to put like a 12 by 12 beam across it to give it better support. So I will find more out. We'll find more out come July 2nd or so. They're supposed to have somewhere around the 2nd, they're supposed to have me some pricing on just doing that lower section. So we're with that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. What I'm going to say here is not going to make a lot of you happy. Most of you don't know, but I've been on the Milan Fire Department for 36 years. I've been the chief since 2004. And most of you are not aware of ordinance. Ordinance 2007 said I should be under a contract, which I have never been under a contract. I gave the board my associate's degree when I got it in February of 2018. I had no compensation for that. I now have my bachelor's and I'm less than 12 weeks away from my master's. You know, I've done a lot of work for the village to try to save the village money over the years. I did a lot of work on the police cars, the radio systems, and everything like that. And I received nothing for that. But I want y'all to be aware of it. That's all I'm doing. I'd like to point out something else that I feel is unethical because of the ordinance. But your city clerk is an appointed position, correct? Shouldn't she be under salary, just like the rest of her appointed positions? And she's under hourly? That's not fair to the ones that are appointed. You know, and as the board, you need to stay out of the running of the day-to-day stuff and let your manager run your day-to-day operations. I mean, ever since Marcella left, it's been chaos on us employees on the field. I mean, the fire department don't even exist for anything except when you need something major. As far as safety goes, I have no authority to do anything because there's nobody here to give it to me. So in closing this, I hope the board comes together for the employees and the citizens of Milan. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, police chief.
Good afternoon, everyone. Don't touch too much on that, but master's degree, that's impressive. Congratulations. You said you're 12 credits close. I've always wanted to get my master's, and that's awesome. Good job with that. So congratulations when you get that. Okay. When I didn't know who to get my reports to, guys, so I did make some copies. I do apologize. These are a little late.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Mayor, ma'am,
Thank
how are you
you.
doing today?
Good, you?
Good. I also got Calvin's reports for you guys. So I apologize. I had the 24th down for my date. I was advised we're on a tight budget with copy paper, so we're running low. So I hope you don't mind. I crossed out the date there for you guys. I didn't want to waste paper, so I do apologize. We got the correct date on there. These are from May. Again, I went to the same system. I put last month's calls for April in parentheses, and then I put May's here. I did throw some highlights on there because I mentioned last month we're seeing an upkick. Our calls all across the board, everything's going up. We're getting a lot of violent calls too, more domestic. So I don't know if you guys recall, I did mention that, but some of the ones I highlighted, I mean, obviously you can see our calls for service jump significantly. Offense reports keep going up. Traffic stops, which are good. The guys are being more proactive. You see that big one there, auto accidents. I mean, 16. Last month we only had 4, so that was a huge jump. Maybe more travelers, restrictions getting lifted. I don't know what the deal is, but that was a big jump on our report here. Area checks, the guys are checking more businesses, more areas. I take that. I look at that. We hired a new officer, and he's able to get out there and check these areas more. So obviously, the more officers we have, the more they can get out there and check these areas, make sure our businesses are good. They're certain. We divide our village up into certain sections. When they check these areas, making sure the windows are fine, doors, they call out the dispatch area ones. Code 4, okay. So that's important because they're looking for stuff. But obviously, you guys know that a couple of our parks got hit again. So, I mean, we can't be everywhere, but just so you're aware, they're out there. That's what those area checks are. It'd be nice if we could put someone in each of these parks, but we can't do it, guys. But and you see our total incidents that we recorded. Last month, 662, we're almost at 800. So we're getting busy. And we're fully staffed finally. So I know there was talk about adding another position. I don't know what the status is of that, but this is my point is we're busy, and the more officers we have, the more productive we could be, because we're getting slammed. I mean, guys are getting rocked with calls, and again, these are some violent calls that we're getting. I already talked to Mr. Mayor over the weekend. We had a drive-by shooting here in the village. I don't know if everyone was aware of that, but we processed the scene, we collected the casings, and we got a couple leads on it. But again, there's been some calls that I didn't think we'd get here. Obviously, crime's everywhere, but I wasn't expecting a drive-by shooting in our village. So got a couple leads we're investigating. Hopefully next month, maybe we'll have an arrest, but I'll follow up with you guys on that if you have any questions, okay? New Sergeant Joe Galindo started with us. I don't know if everyone knows Joe, but he's been a supervisor. We now have a supervisor in each rotation, and they've got their own assigned officers. So takes a little bit off of my plate, so I can do a little bit more, but it also gets these guys paying more attention to what their guys are doing, checking reports, making things are in better order for us, and helps with shift coverage. We got 2 guys on a different rotation now, but that's 2 more officers out at one time than we had before. So it's more coverage for us. He brings a lot of areas of expertise with him. I've listed some on here that you can see that's important. DWI, field training officer. He's a public information officer. So training coordinators. I mean, he's got a bunch of experience. So he'll be a good asset for us. I threw on there about our PBTs. I did bring one here in case anyone's curious. You know, sometimes you say PBT, you're like, what the heck is that? You know, so these are useful in combating DWI enforcement, or if we go to a party, underage drinking, we could have the underagers blow into this so we could see their alcohol content. We could issue the citations. So I won't ask anybody to volunteer to blow into this. But if you guys want to look at it, these cost, for 7 of them, they were $3,800. And I'll go into this a little bit more where the funding came from. This did not cost the village anything. We didn't pull it from LAPF. I didn't pull it out of my budget. You guys won't see this bill. They've already been paid for. Through my area of experience is DWI enforcement, drug impairment. I was able to establish a good working relationship with DWI compliance to the point where they added me to the DWI County Panel Board. So I'm a member of that now. Got with Joanna Payne over there, and she hooked us up with these at no cost to us. So that saved us money, $3,800 right there. And I'll touch on that a little bit more when I present. Thank you. Present on my next topic. I threw in a report about our laptops. I think the laptops we had, Chief Salazar got a few years ago. We obviously with budget and funding, it's tough to get decent laptops. I think he went with the the cheapest version, but it got the job done, right? But they're starting to break down, guys. So I'm looking into areas where we could pay that, because we had a couple options. I come to you guys, ask for money for it. I got a quote, 17,500 for 8 laptops. That's gonna be tough, I'd imagine. So, she laughs. We could pull that from LAPF, but we got that money going elsewhere, our new tasers, other stuff. So I do have a way where I could get those for free, and I'll touch on that when I talk about the topic I have scheduled, okay? But we need laptops. Half of our equipment came in, got these hats. They should have our number on it, but this one doesn't. We got polos, we got their vest that came in, so we'll be issuing those out. Duty belts are in. We're waiting for one piece of equipment with our vest, but we used up all of our LAPF. We got flashlight, handcuff case, handcuffs. So the guys are getting the equipment they need. It's slowly starting to come in. So all that's there. If you guys ever want to check out the stuff we're getting, it's actually pretty neat. I mean, if you want to come over, turn the vest, you know, pay you. Okay. Let me know, guys. I mean, you can see what you can see what we're working with, and what I can do is just to show you the stuff that we were getting by with, and the stuff we got now, the major improvement, and how it's gonna benefit not only the officers but this community. So you come over and I'll show you what we had, and the guys are getting the job done with it. I don't know how. I mean, talented officers, I guess, but to see the difference in the equipment, it'll amaze you. We had body cameras. We talked about the ones we were trying to get. We're trying to work into the budget. We got them. We put them in the field. The guys, for some reason, don't like them. So we're not going to go that route. I know you're happy to see. I'm always coming to her saying, "Can I have some money? Can I have some money?" And now I'm actually giving some back, and I finally made her smile. So that money could go elsewhere. I mean, it's something we thought would be a good idea, that would be beneficial, but the guys, for a couple reasons, it wasn't working for them. So we're gonna stick with what we got right now. We sent Officer Aragon to taser instructor school, so we're trying to get that. We had to wait on one of the pieces we're missing for the dock for the taser. We're pretty close to getting that piece and getting that together, so we should be getting our new tasers issued out here soon. And he went through the training, so he'll be able to take care of that for us. Again, any volunteers to get tased, you're more than welcome to show up for this tasing. We had to run for the wall. Everyone knows what that is?
Yes.
Okay, I when I left in 2015, I had never heard about it. So Lieutenant Spidell at the Sheriff's Department got a hold of me and said, "Hey, do you guys want to take part in this?" And I had no idea what it was. And I was amazed. That is a great fundraiser. That is awesome for this community and the school. We had 4 of us show up. 2 officers were off duty, and they said, "Yeah, I want to go for that." So we had 4 officers represent the village here. We helped transport them in. Great group of guys, those bikers. I mean, they were hilarious. I made some great contacts. We already got some ideas in place for next year for us to help out with the fundraising for the school. So that was awesome. That was something really cool they do. And if you guys get a chance, Mr. Mayor was there. So that was great. And if anybody else wants more information on it, they give these great challenge coins. And I like challenge coins, and they gave me one. So just that alone, a t-shirt, a challenge coin, and I'll show up for anything. So just so you guys know. I have been in contact with the principal over at the school. I stopped over there a bunch. I've finally gotten some free time. Well, she's appreciated. She said Chief Salazar and Chief Stevens used to go over there a bunch, so she was missing us at the school, and quite a few of us have been over there. So I've already been in contact with her about some trainings that we could offer in that areas that I'm an instructor in, active shooter instructor, and drug impairment. She said not a whole lot of issues with drugs with the kiddos, but a couple. So it'd be just signs to look for if they happen to steal mom's pills or something. So just little areas like that she's on board with and wants to put in place hopefully before school starts this upcoming year. Sergeant Vallejos is our new school relations officer. So we're gonna look for training for him in that area. I needed someone to take over that role just to get involved into schools more, to be a connection. And he stepped up and he says, yeah, for sure he wanted to do it. They were renaming the mascot. Is that Wildcat, right? He was hoping they would rename it Carlos, but they named it Wally. So he was a little disappointed, but he still volunteered to go over there. They got an office for him already, so he could go over there, do his rounds, type his reports, just be a presence. So that was great. He stepped up, and we're getting that relation back with the school, because when I go over there and when I have been going over there and just seeing the little kid's face and high-fiving me and stuff, it's a great feeling for me too. So that makes my day, and I'm sure it puts a smile on their face as well. We're having a lot of issues with our current fleet, our squads. I think I was told you assisted with the squads getting them here, Mr. Mayor, something along those lines?
With the what?
The police cars?
Oh, yeah.
I might have to get with you with that and how we did that, because I've been looking for grants. I've been looking, I haven't found much that's gonna help us. So we're having a lot of recalls, and we're having some issues with our current. They're taking care of them because they're still under warranty. But I'm just curious how we were able to get those there, and I was told to talk to you. So one of these days I'll have to get with you that. Okay.
Anytime.
Yes, sir. I think I come back later, so I'll go and then come back unless anyone has any questions for me. Nope.
Nobody?
Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you. Okay, now we have our Mr. Joe Ray. He's gonna give us an update on the wells.
Hello, board, mayor. I'm here to let you guys know that we have one of our community wells, a pump went out. So we're running off of 2 wells right now. And now in the summer, we've been coming in at 5 in the morning just to kick them on. We rotate. And we're having to shut them down about 9 o'clock at night. It's kind of hard to keep up.
Which one's down there?
35. So that's you guys, I don't know if you know anything about pumps, but it's not going to be very cheap. So that's really what I had came to let you guys know for a heads up. I've been working with a company, and depending if you want me to get quotes out of town to another company, but I think that's going to be more expensive because what I've experienced is they charge us just to come and troubleshoot. Then they go back and they charge us again to come and actually do the work.
Who are we using now?
Allen C pump. What it basically did is the pump through the years, I think like in 2009, it was pumping 800 gallons a minute. And then slowly through the years, it just started giving. We were watching it by GPM.
Are we gonna have to replace the bowls, or is it just the motor issue?
No, the motor is pretty new. It's gonna be the bolt. It finally is just locked up. It's gonna be the pump down on the bottom. So I think it ran, the last time they pulled a well for us, it was around 9-10 grand. So you put that plus what the pump's gonna run. I haven't actually got quotes yet. But that's all I have to let you guys know.
I think
So how's our water level looking?
Our water levels are okay on the 23 and 35. 35 is real good. The one that for future that I recommend is well 50. That pump has been dropped 3 times already, and it's on its last drop. It can't get dropped no more. So once our static levels hit a point, it will have to be drilled down more. We watch it by checking the static level, our pumping level. So we'll get an idea of when we think it's starting to go dry. But that's basically what happens. It's cheaper that I know to drill deeper than do a whole new, a new well or anything like that. But eventually it is going to happen through the years, the static levels do changes and they always go down. They never come up. The droughts we're in and all that. The well 50 is a submergible. It was converted from a turbine shaft to a submergible.
Okay, do we want Joe Ray to get quotes?
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, for that kind of money, yeah.
Okay.
me to, I've only know of one company that does it here in town. Do you want me to look out of town as well?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Just to get a quote from out there.
Okay,
Look out and find something that's cheaper out of town.
okay.
Who do you guys use?
I don't know who they're using right now.
I think it's, something southwest out of Albuquerque. So they told me Grand,
Southwest Pumps, I think.
something like that. Cause I contacted Edward as well. I try to get everybody to make sure.
I don't know who they're using. I'll have to get hold of Martha.
That's what I was here to let you guys know. 'Cause it's not gonna be cheap.
Okay,
No, it ain't.
thank you
Alrighty.
for the information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we go to action discussion items. First one will be ordinance 270 relating to water and sewer utilities.
So this is the ordinance that we've been discussing for the last couple of months. It will do a 3% increase across the board. Commercial, residential. Eileen and I have worked on this one. Instead of doing an amendment, we redid the entire ordinance so that there weren't so many crossed out areas and red writing all over it. So makes it easier to read.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
No. I think we've already talked about this. But
This
Okay.
This has been on the, several different audits it's been on to do this.
anybody have any other questions? Okay, if not, entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 270 relating to the water and sewer utilities.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by trustee Archuleta, second by Mayor Pro Tem Rumble. Trustee Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rumble,
Yes.
trustee Archuleta.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next, we have police pay incentives.
I do apologize, guys. I met with the courts over there. Had some questions, and I did get with Denise on this. Is this, could I do this? Okay. And they wanted me to present this for them. They noticed some of these fines, they feel are on the lower end. So I didn't make a whole lot of, I did put our traffic and then our what's called non-traffic citations. The ones I highlighted, that's the ones they're requesting if they could raise the fines, and they put the fines amount that they feel next to them. So I'll leave these with you guys. I only made one copy, so I don't know.
She can make copies. Well,
Okay.
thank you.
And I told them I'll present that on their behalf, because obviously they would know if the fines are too low or too high, and I mean, I gotta trust their judgment, so I told them I'll present it for them.
Aren't we limited on what?
I thought,
I think it's,
This ordinance is number 190. It is an actual ordinance right now, so this is the fee scale that goes with that ordinance. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get state statute to compare to make sure that we're within guidelines. That's why I haven't presented it yet. I'm hoping to have a draft ready by next month's workshop so we can move forward with it. So I have looked at it. I've looked at some of the state statutes. It looks like most of them are okay. So we should be okay, but like I said, I want to make sure before I present it to you.
and I kind of threw this on her recently, so I do apologize. But I just got the information, and I think they said the max they could fine is $500 or
That's,
something.
yeah,
Yeah, so,
that's what they've always told us.
okay, and they said
We
that's what
tried.
the court cost would be $529, so that's what, but it's some other stuff that they just noticed, and they did their, I think Carol did her research comparable to the area, so. Questions on that? Okay, I think you guys had, been given information on what we're calling a pay incentive, increase. I watched, online, and it seemed like there were some questions on that, and, I guess I wanted to come in and clarify what I was trying to do, or the idea I had. because it seemed like we were just handing officers money and not expecting anything in return. And that's not the case. In my experience, and I'm calling it a pay incentive here. I don't want to use the word raise, but my experience when officers got more money and we weren't expecting anything in return, the productivity stayed the same. They're like, I got more money, why am I going to do it? So I didn't want to say, here's some more money, please go out and do this for me, do this, because I know, and I hate to say it, maybe 3-4 months, guys will be all pumped, they got that more money, but they might go back to normal. I can't answer for guys how they're going to do in the future, but I wasn't trying to do that. So basically, I'm not asking an approval for you guys to approve to just give them money, okay? The way I have it set up, there was I think a comment was made, our new officer, that we were gonna bump him up $2. That's not the case. I don't even think he's gonna see any increase in his pay next year, to be honest, maybe 50 cents, and I'll explain to you why I'm saying that. So what I came up with is what's called a pay incentive agreement, okay? I'm gonna supply you guys with the contract that the officers would read and sign, and I spoke with our attorney on it. He said he sees no issues with it as long as I include the second sheet with it. So what they're going to read and sign, and this is capped out at $2.50 for certain areas, guys. What they're gonna read and sign is they're agreeing, you can see there, they're agreeing for a 50-cent incentive increase for their specialized area or the job that they're performing. And if you can see there, they need to continue to do these duties and stay certified. We're not going to babysit them and make sure they're getting their certifications. We're all enough to do that. They're going to maintain their certifications, whatever it may be. They're going to continue to do what we're asking. If I'm telling a guy, hey, you're field training our new officer, and he says, no, I'm not doing it, by signing this, they're agreeing to give us our 50 cents back. Our firearms instructor, if he said, I do not want to go out and train you guys on firearms anymore, you're giving us our 50 cents back. The list there that's generated is a lot of important areas that we already have in place. Some of the examples, we didn't have someone that has gone to the conducting criminal investigator school. Kicked around this idea a couple months ago, Officer Trivio, motivated, and obviously a chance to make a little bit more money because we got families too, we got bills to pay. Between his motivation and getting a little bit more money, he goes, hey, I'll go to that school. So he completed the school last week. He comes back and Sergeant Valles tells him about the recent shooting we had. What does Officer Trivial do on his own? He said, hey, Sarge, do the report and I'll take over the investigation. I know what I need to do because I just went to this school. I know where to send the shell casings. I know who to look for interviews. So that's how they're earning this pay incentive. Now, let's say in 6 months, he's getting slammed with all these cases. He says, Chief, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do this anymore. You're not going to do it anymore. You're giving us that 50 cents back. Okay? So that's where it's coming from. They're going to get a little bit more money, but they also have to keep doing the duties we're asking. If you see some of the titles that we have on there, SWAT team, narcotics team, obviously we don't have those. But I've been in talk with Sheriff Mays, and I've also kicked around the idea of forming our own narcotics team. They have a really good team with the Sheriff's Department. Apparently we used to be a part of that. We're not anymore, but I would like to throw a couple guys on there because we got narcotics issues here in the village. We all know that. But we don't have a team right now. We don't have anything in place. So if we could jump on board with Sheriff Mays, and he's already said to get with his under sheriff, we got this on here, but it also get the guys a little bit more money. And if they say one day, I don't want to be on that team, well, guess what? You signed a contract, you're giving us our money back, okay? Some of these areas, if you see the drug investigator or the drug recognition expert, the DWI instructor, I have those certifications, okay? I already told you through those certifications, I was already able to get us $3,800 from the PBT at no cost to the village. These are the computers, $17,500, okay? Real nice computers. Well, two areas that I specialize in, it allows us to save $17,500 because of what I do with the DRE and the DWI instructor, the contact I already made being part of the board. So let's say I get myself 50 cents more for this pay incentive. Let's multiply that times 2,080, which is 40 hours a week. You would technically, if approved, I would make about $4,100 more a year. Through the PBTs and the computers, I already saved the village $21,000. So essentially, I should be asking you guys for a $4 increase in pay. I'm just kidding. Tough crowd right here. Tough crowd. Tough crowd. I thought that joke would be a good one, but
You don't laugh.
yeah, I'll get him one of these. We don't have an evidence custodian. Okay, that's a lot of work. A lot of guys don't want to do it. Pay incentive might have a couple of them, or at least one say, oh yeah, I'll take on that task. Defensive tax instructors, a lot of guys don't want to be out there, being thrown around on a mat for a week or two, whatever it is. The importance of having a defensive tactics instructor, I know when I was in New Mexico, I had the defensive tactics training in 2006 at the academy. Never had defensive tactics again. I'm guessing a lot of areas, a lot of other departments are the same way. Wisconsin, we had 2 defensive tactics instructors, and we trained on DTs every year. We did some form of verbal de-escalation or takedowns because what's going around across the country? We're getting sued for excessive use of force. Getting someone to go to defensive tactics instructor school, to have a yearly or every 6 months, whatever the case, that's going to benefit us for lawsuits. It's going to benefit use of force claims. It's also make sure we're doing the proper techniques, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of that stuff you learn in the academy, you're gonna forget. So just to know the proper techniques and stuff has changed. Look what happened up in Minnesota. If you guys knew the one officer, he learned the tactic 16 years ago about the knee in the back. Well, I guess something changed in 2016. Did he have the update on that? So it's just, it's important stuff, guys. I'm not trying to BS you here, okay? I threw in arson investigations. We don't have an arson investigator. I'd like to have one there so we could have our own for the village. I mean, he could investigate that bucket on fire the other day, I mean, you guys are a tough crowd today. Physical fitness instructor, obviously that's important. What that person would do would set us up with some training programs, proper diet, give a training on certain areas that we're going to need to stay in shape, okay? What does that do? Eliminate workman's comp claims, use of sick leave, injuries. Obviously, an officer that's in better shape, getting a little fight, I mean, fights last, little scuffles, maybe a minute. So we got to make sure that we're in better shape, and I need a physical fitness instructor. Questions on any of that? I will say this, guys, before, if you have any questions. We have 7 officers there, and obviously, I'm sweating now because you guys are a tough crowd. Not all of us are going to get this pay incentive that's worked into the budget. Like I said, our new guy, he doesn't have any of these areas, but what did he do as a motivated new officer? Came to my office, said, hey, chief, what could I do? What do you need? What do you need help with? What area do you need help with? I told him I need the physical and fitness instructor. If you want to go to defensive tactics instructor, we also want our own breath machine at the PD, it would be a key operator. The PBTs that we got, we need someone that maintain those, calibrate them, order breath tubes every so often. So he's already shown interest in that because he wants to get involved. Obviously, guys, a pay incentive is going to get people more interested, but it's also going to keep them wanting to do this stuff and keep certified and keep doing it, because with the contract, they're going to give the money back if they don't want to do it anymore, or if they're not doing the job correctly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because we don't have to borrow from the state police anymore if we have our own.
No, and the other night, their officers are tied up for a call, so our officer went and helped, but some nights they might be tied up and we don't have a breath machine then, so it'd be nice to get our own. The other thing I'm gonna say is a lot of these areas that we have, we're gonna save money on overtime because our general instructor, we got a couple guys now certified in that. When we did our biennium training, we did 4 Saturdays in April. That was a lot of overtime because these weren't in place. So we could actually do these on duty. The 2 officers could, I don't know, meet up, knock out a couple of those classes where we're not paying overtime anymore. We're doing them on duty, or we're not utilizing other officers from other agencies. And then if there's grants out there, some of them require us to be certified in certain areas to get these grants for free equipment. A lot of this stuff is just going to be beneficial. I mean, if you look at, if you have questions, I mean, I have a child safety technician that's for the seat belts, the proper car seat, how to put the kiddos in there properly. That'd be great to have here. And with that grant, they supply free car seats. So we could give free car seats out to the community. Just little things. I know I flew through that. Any questions?
How's your evidence room?
What do you mean? You know, it could be worse. I mean, there's room for improvement. I don't know if you guys know Karen Cook, that she does a lot of stuff with evidence. She has her own business. She's helped us out, and I think we talked about this before, but we need to get somebody in there, clean it up a little bit, and make sure everything's gonna go the right way. Why would you hear?
No, I've been there.
Oh.
Remember, I've been there.
We are missing evidence, so no, I'm kidding. Any other questions, guys? I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we need to, was that just a presentation? We need to vote on that, or?
That is just a presentation. It'll be part of your budget when you vote on the budget.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Chief. The next we move to the presentation for Wanda, if you would come up here, please. We got a plaque for Wanda. Wanda's been a loyal employee of the Village of Milan for 20 years. So we appreciate it very much. We appreciate your loyalty and your hard work very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
She must work the shovel a lot too. 'Cause she's got a grip on
Got a
it.
good grip.
Okay, thank you, Wanda. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, speech.
You want your guys to fit, send them to water aerobics.
Thank you. Okay, next we move on to personnel.
Mayor,
Oh.
before you move on, I have a couple of
Oh,
things.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
They're not action, they're just direction.
Mhm.
So we do have the fence in for Maribel Park. Jack has gone and picked it up. He's got one more trip to make. He's got a couple of gates he's got to pick up. I do need to know exactly where you guys want the gates. Sarah and I had discussed it and we had decided to do one on each side. Now that we went out there and looked at it, I'm thinking if we put one along Clay Street where we don't want them to park, they're going to start parking there. It's up to you. We have 3 gates for entrance. These are the 4-foot wide. So what we were talking about was putting one near the restrooms, which is right by the basketball goal, and another one closer to the end of the parking lot. So there's one on each side of the parking lot. And then maybe one on Catalina, an entrance on that side. Even though we don't want people parking there, at least they'll have an entrance and an exit on both sides in case of an emergency. If you guys want one on Clay, we can still put one on Clay. It's up to you. I just need direction on where to go before he starts drilling holes.
I think that makes sense to just have 3 of them, 2 by the parking lot, because that's where people are gonna park. And that's where people want to come into the even now with the T-ball, that's where they park, that's where they come into. And one in Catalina, it makes sense that we don't have too many on the streets, because you're right, people will park, if they see a gate, they'll park by the gate and they'll try to go in the gate.
And I know on Catalina, they can actually park across the street without parking on the asphalt that was put there. They can park across the street in the easement. So, I mean, there is room for parking, so there will be an entrance on that side. Whereas Clay, if they park across the street from the park, they're gonna be parking in people's driveways. But you guys give me direction and we'll put them where you say.
Sounds like you've got it pretty well planned out.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Fine with Lava and Catalina.
So I'm thinking, the 2 on each end of the parking lot on Lava and one kind of centered on Catalina.
Yeah. that's-
Wasn't there a problem with the drainage or whatever right there on Catalina that they were gonna try and fix?
Yes, we're getting ready to put some signs. I had asked George for ideas, as far as keeping people away from that culvert that's there. He had mentioned basically it's a pole that you would put into the ground to keep people from driving or walking right into it.
So basically, the gate is gonna be there on Catalina where the double gates are for the drainage.
No, the gate I'm actually gonna center, so if you look from where the drainage ditch, where the drive-through is, that goes into the park where the ditch is. Okay, so I'm gonna center between that and the end of Clay. So it would be probably right in the middle, right where it says, number 2, right in that area there.
I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Another thing I had given you all is a map on the soccer complex. So we did have a meeting with some of the engineers for the soccer complex, and this is the layout that we were able to come up with. So the restroom facility will be placed closest to the school, but away from the park where it's not, we're not gonna get the smell into the concession area if, there's ever any issues. Concession stand will be basically right here on the corner closer to the school where the playground area used to be. My hope for future improvement is we can get some playground equipment back in that area there, so we'll still have a playground at the field, but also it'll be centered between the fields and the playground area. And then the storage would be right next to the concession stand. So I just need direction. If you guys are okay with that location, we can start planning on the design of the concession.
Are you, did you check into the entranceway into the parking? For the new lots that we have over here for parking?
Yes.
Or are they gonna continue letting handicap parking?
We are going to let the ADA accessible right here. We did get the land donation from the Meaches. So I don't know if you've seen the area. Jack's cleared out a lot of the brush and stuff out of that area, and he's been hauling millings. Solid Waste has donated a bunch of millings to us, so he'll be using those for the other area of parking lot. This parking lot here where it enters through Vivian Drive, it will be, we're working on a local government road fund grant, $179,000. That'll pave the handicap parking.
And they'll take these these little storage trailers out?
Yes, these storage trailers will come out and they'll be able to use the one that
And
we're
that way
doing.
they'll be able to use this whole area right there.
That is the plan.
So have you contacted, has anyone contacted the highway department about the cutout?
Actually, I had Monica contact them yesterday, and they are supposed to be getting back with her with permit information. So it's not gonna be a fee, but we do have to go through the permit process in order for us to get a driveway into that property.
More questions?
So are we all in agreement with the locations of those facilities?
That looks good to me. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we move to personnel and this month, the employee of the month will be Ms. Denise Baca. Besides her regular duties as village clerk, she is our projects coordinator, as you very well know. And some of our projects are, one of them's about to get completed. The other one is we're going to get separate funding for the grass for the sod, and it takes a lot of work. We have quite a few. We have Kearns Soccer Swimming Pool, Airport Road. We had just got through Maribel Park, and some of the other projects will start soon and are in the planning stages. And having this many projects is a lot of work. I myself will walk into her office and ask for information on a project or the industrial park, or to submit requests to the DOT, and she does it right away. Sometimes I think I ask too much from her, but she doesn't complain. At least to me, maybe to Joray she'll complain, but she doesn't complain to me. And we are very grateful that she now has somebody to help her with the projects. And I'm sure Monica will do a great job. She's a fast learner, so she'll be doing okay. Okay, and then with that, we move to board comments, and we'll start with Trustee Archuleta.
Congratulations, Denise, Wanda, now you're no more slept. It's a milestone. Keith, thank you for your service. You said it's what, over 35 years? It's a long time. It's longer than I've been alive. You know, I'm kind of disappointed that it took, 35 years for you to bring up the ordinance. I mean, it would have been nice for the board to know that sooner. There's a lot of things that we should know as a board, and there is a lot of things that we are digging into, trust me. We have been. I'm in here, I've actually been here this past week, more than I've been here this whole 3 years that I've been in term. Yeah, and then that's the thing, there's a lot that we gotta fix, but it's getting fixed. It's not that we're not doing anything, we are actually looking into these things, because there is ordinances and policies that need to be fixed. So, other than that, thank everybody for being here tonight. It's good to see people starting to show back up instead of having to look at a computer all day. Tired of that. Other than that, that's all I have.
Trustee Baca.
Well, congratulations to everybody on your recognition. Again, Chief Austin, it's a sad, sad day that we're gonna lose you. And it's sad to hear that we've now lost a total of 5 employees. They've served this village, all of them, some of them for decades. Right now, we're in a situation where we're bleeding employees. Trustee Lopez stated last week that we can't make them stay. But unfortunately, I feel that this board hasn't really attempted to find out or try to ask them to stay or to help them find a way to stay.
We're not allowed to do that.
And some of the complaints that have come across are the same that practically all these employees that are leaving us are making. And it seems like it's been totally ignored, even when the manager was asking for help. But it seems that we haven't been paying attention. Like was pointed out by Chief Austin, we're not paying attention to policies or ordinances. And we tend to favor more of a favoritism or a nepotism. And I really want to say I'm sorry for all of that. And I want to thank the rest of the remaining employees that are having to stay and work extra to cover for the ones we don't have. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumbaugh.
Well, first I'd like to say congratulations to Wanda. That's a great accomplishment for her. It's just great. Keith, we do appreciate everything you've done for the village, and you have helped so much at the school while I was there. I really appreciate all the help you helped with me. I hate to see you leave, but wish you luck, good luck, and have our blessings. And for the employees that are still here, just hang in. We're doing the best we can. I know some people don't think so, but we are. So we do feel that we have a good crew. So that's it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I too want to thank you, Keith, for all your service to the village of Milan. You've been a tremendous influence on a lot of people here at the village. Appreciate that very much. Next, I want to wish all the dads a happy Father's Day. Because like they say, it takes a real man to be a father. You know, it's not just a title. Myself, the only thing I want for Father's Day this year is an enchilada, either green or red, doesn't matter. And I want to spend the day with my family. Lately, we have had a few resignations at the village. Some leave for better pay and better benefits. Others leave because they are not satisfied here and want to do different things, which is really okay. You know, it's good that they, you know, you're in different avenues. You want to do some different. That's fine. So, you know, wish good luck to all of them. But the village will continue to operate and serve our citizens. There's no doubt in my mind about that. You know, I've never been a negative person. I always am positive on most everything that we do, and I think that being positive helps a lot. And that's because of our employees. We have great employees here, and you know, they all pick up the slack whenever they're asked. And I'll give you a few examples. Jolene Colburn, she has spent numerous hours taking extra duties now, and I've sat in there with her for hours and hours, and it's I really appreciate her, and she does not complain too much. And Candace Williams is now wearing, like they say, you wear two hats. She's wearing two hats right now. And if you go in there and talk to her, she's always got a smile. She's always very friendly. She's up, you know, there's no downside to her. She really tries to do her best, and she's doing a great job. I appreciate that very much. And Denise has stepped up again and is also wearing, like to say, two hats, sometimes three. And as far as I know, she doesn't complain. Hopefully, we will have a manager shortly. And I also want to point out Daniel Urioste has also stepped up and at the fire department, and appreciate that very much. And to all our employees, I thank you. All of you have been doing great job, and you know, we'll get through this, and we'll might come up We'll do better. Enjoy the 4th of July. If you light fireworks, please be extra careful. If you can donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, like always, please, if you can, donate to them. And if you see a veteran, thank her or him. And God bless our village, and God bless America. Okay, next we have the announcements. We have a Board of Trustees workshop, July 7th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Planning and zoning meeting, July 8th, 2021 at 4:30 p.m. And Board of Trustees regular meeting, July 15th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Trustee Archuleta, second by Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow. Trustee Baca,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow.
Yes.
Trustee Archuleta.